Now it is.
Who's she getting played by?
That chick from Kong Skull Island,
Oh, really?
whose name is
Tex
completely
evaded you.
escaped my brain.
She's just blonde.
She was the one who won the Oscar for Room.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
And I
about.
haven't
have no
seen that
idea.
either.
She's very forgettable. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She's pretty bland.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear she's very good in that, but that's all I know.
Maybe that's the only role she can play. I don't want to be that person. I'm sorry. I take that back. I don't know. Okay. We're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy.
No.
Oh, wait, no, we have to
Yes.
introduce ourselves.
Do we? I don't know what we do. This is what we do.
This is what we do. What are we doing?
We are doing whatever we like. No, this is episode 3.
Oh, the Suicidal Cinephiles?
Yep.
I still can't pronounce
Can't
the
do
name.
it. She can't do it.
I'm sorry.
Ever.
We even made up the name and I can't pronounce it. That's a problem.
It's good. It's good when you can't pronounce your own thing. The thing that you do every couple of weeks.
Yeah. So today we are talking
Yes.
about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Marvel's, Disney's, Hollywood's Guardians of the Galaxy
I was
Volume
going
2.
to say Love Child.
No, it's just how it works now.
Yeah, it is how it works.
It's good because I'm glad, that they released another Star Wars film in the last 12 months that was better than the last one.
What was the last Star Wars film?
Rogue One. But then obviously the real Star Wars movie is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
No, it's Space Wars. Get it right.
Yeah, I know, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
This Guardians of the Galaxy feels more like Star Wars than Rogue One did.
Yeah, Rogue One, to be fair, I haven't seen it, but a lot of people just said it didn't make much.
It's all icing and no cake.
That's one way to say it. Hey, hang on, your loud's very mic, your mic's very loud.
My loud's very mic.
Yeah, your loud's very mic.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad that it's very mic.
It's very microphone.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So we watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2,
Yep.
and it just talks about a whole orang.
It was good. I liked it.
It was just a very solid A+ kind of film.
It's funny because I rewatched the first one
Yeah.
the other night, and I think there are, I don't know, I think the characters are better in this one.
I think they're just more fleshed out, which
Probably.
obviously they're going to be.
Obviously.
But I
Second
think
time around.
the funny thing I realized was that they didn't fall into the same trap that Marvel originally does, which is like the first original film was always really great, and then the sequels are kind of always like meh, storylines a bit up
It
and
depends.
down.
Depends on who you talk about. If it's Iron Man, then yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
but it does happen.
Thor's never really been great.
Yeah, but Thor's like the Superman of Marvel.
Yeah.
Blech.
Boring. And
white. Sorry. No, just like very like kind of the superhero can do everything, really
Yeah.
powerful, nothing can stop you.
there's nothing you can't do, and
Nothing
it
you
makes
can't
them
do.
boring.
Yeah. But I think the good thing about I was going to say Space Wars, The Guardians of the Galaxy, is that like the second film just focused on other things. It didn't kind of dwell on the previous film as well. Because I feel like sometimes it does do that. It like keeps referring back to the previous films. It keeps doing this and that. And then I'm just like, okay, I already watched that film like 20 times. Can we just move on with this one?
I think it's good because you wouldn't really... I don't think you would know if you went like really into like... If it didn't have Marvel at the start, you wouldn't even know that it was connected to the Avengers.
Yeah, that's true.
This film. Even less than the last
Are you
one.
saying that the best thing about this film is not connected to the Avengers?
It's not that it's not connected, it's just it doesn't... makes very little reference to it at all.
Yeah, I know.
There's a couple of mentions of those Infinity Gems.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Oh, freaking Stanley.
Stanley.
Every fucking time. Every time I see a Marvel film, I see Stanley, I'm like, oh my
Linda
God.
doesn't like Stanley.
No, it's not that I don't like Stanley. I just think it's just like it's funny the first few times he appears in his own film, and now I'm just like, okay, I get it. You're old.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Sorry. like don't get me wrong. Actually, I love the music. Can I just talk about the
Yes.
music for a second? I love the music in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And I think it's kind of funny because we were watching the ads and all that beforehand, and we're thinking like, what was that King Arthur film that's coming out?
Yeah, the
And
Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah, and then they were playing like this oldie kind of song.
They're playing Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
I
And
can't remember which one.
we were all just kind of moaning about the fact that now it's this huge thing to play, like,
Everybody does.
yeah, that type
Everybody
of music.
does.
And then we kind of think back and we're like, it's ironic because Guardians of the Galaxy kind of kicked that off because they started playing, like, they had this album with all these, like, old school tracks. And now
Yep.
it became really, really popular for films to do that. But the track list is really, really good, and I need to choose better adjectives than really, really good. But it's exceptional.
They're relevant
They're
as well.
exceptional and relevant. That's important. They're not just there to sound cool.
Yeah. Well, they sound cool too.
They sound cool too.
They're actually good music.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the plot of this one is basically they end up on a contract basically for these gold people who's I just can't remember what they're called. They're just gold people.
They're very
I'm
pretty.
sure there's some people who actually read the comics and whatever out there who are gonna hate me and say
we're not true fans. I'm sorry.
They're the whatever alien. They're the golden trash can aliens or something rubbish.
Gold on the inside, trash on the gold on the outside, trash on the inside.
Yeah. But yeah, they do a contract for them, and that's my favourite scene in the whole movie, is the opening, pretty much.
Oh, that was so cute. Baby Groot is so good. Like, if not just for him, oh my gosh, I love the film just because he's just... The way he's portrayed is like, oh, he's... Like, at times you think, oh, maybe it's like just... he's a bit more grown up, and then other times he's like a full-blown baby, and they do play on the fact that he's just so cute as well. And
of course,
it's not just something for the audience; it's something that plays a part in the film. The fact that he's just a little baby tree.
Certainly going to do well for the toy sales.
Oh yeah,
that's the big product. The Baby Groot toys,
so
probably.
Cute. He's so cute. I'm sorry,
cute.
No.
But
I was sucked in.
anyway,
Yeah.
the basic sort of they do this contract to get rid of this interdimensional squid monster
Yeah.
from these guys' planets because there's these batteries that they're trying to keep, and they're very precious to them. And then they defeat it, and Rocket steals some of the batteries that are very precious to them because he steals everything.
Yeah.
And then they get chased onto this planet and crash, and then they're found by Ego, who is Star-Lord's father.
Yeah.
Played by Kurt Russell. Excellent casting. I
Really
couldn't
good.
have thought of a better father for Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
And they have the same attitude and pretty much the same persona.
Yeah, and then the story kind of splits into two storylines, where one is pretty much is it called the Scavengers or the Ravengers?
Something like that.
Like the people, the guy with the whistle and the arrow, like
Yondu.
Yondu, and his like group of people versus
Mm-hmm.
Rocket and Groot and Gamora's sister
Nebula.
Nebula.
It's more like three. It's all of their backstories are coming
Yeah.
into play
Yeah.
again.
And then it's like Gamora, Drax, and Star-Lord kind of going off and meeting Star-Lord's dad and finding out what's going on with him. And then you think it's kind of funny because I feel like sometimes a film, I can't remember which film did this, where, it was Suicide Squad, where they kind of have like two different things going on and then one kind of floats off, like one storyline kind of fades away, and then they go, oh wait, and then like all the characters come together and you kind of go, well, what happened to that villain there? And whereas with this film, I kept thinking, oh my god, so they're going to forget about Rocket or something, and that's going to end. And, this is going to, like, the thing with Star-Lord's father is going to continue onwards, and that's going to be the main kind of storyline. But that's really not the case, because at the end it does kind of tie in together quite nicely. I mean, it's like, Ex Machina as fuck, because everything is so convenient.
The whole thing, I find these sorts of movies, it's not really about the plot. It's whether, like, the characters work and you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And if it was actually funny and it doesn't seem too stupid.
Yeah. But, like, I think Guardians of the Galaxy plays upon the fact that it's like Avengers, but it doesn't take itself as seriously as Avengers, and it's just there for a good time. It's just like, I think it's one of those films, you walk in, you watch it, you have a really nice time, and all the characters are funny, the jokes make sense, and there's it's a very safe film.
I'm trying to imagine what Infinity War is going to be like.
Oh, God.
Because every bastard's going to be in that movie. Everyone. Every 5 seconds there'll be some huge star turns up and they've got to have their moment. Yeah. It's just, I don't know what to make of that. I've been looking at the release schedule for Marvel, and it's like they've had so many films already. 3 Iron Man films, 1 Hulk film.
Where's the Hulk? Oh, the Hulk film
was...
the
one with Edward Norton in it, and then they recast him
as
Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo played. But yeah, there's 3 Thor films, Thor Ragnarok comes out.
Yeah.
End of this
They
year?
need to stop making Thor films. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just like, after the second one, I'm like, oh, okay. Third one, I'm like, okay, I guess this is kind of cool.
I mean, this one looks alright, but
yeah, who knows what's going to happen. I'm really into the villain, though. She looks freaking badass.
Kate Blanchett.
Yeah.
Yeah. She looks pretty cool.
I love Kate Blanchett.
It looks like something might actually happen in this one, but I don't know. I mean,
someone might die. Maybe Loki dies.
maybe. Well, I
wouldn't
still have
mind
this strange feeling they'll want to shoehorn him in for Infinity War somewhere.
I hope not.
They've tried to kill him, I say tried to. They've killed him kind of,
Quotation.
2-3 times? Have they?
Let's make this
I
a
actually
fourth.
haven't seen Thor 2.
You're really loud.
It's okay.
You're like breaking the barrier. I don't know how else to say it.
Now let's just hope they...
Loki
I hope-
dies.
I hope somebody does.
Yeah.
I did
Maybe
notice,
Jane.
actually, the thing about Guardians of the Galaxies, they do actually kill people.
Yeah, that's a good...
Which sets them apart from the rest
The
of the Marvel
characters
movies.
aren't morally, right, but they're not morally wrong. They're just morally ambiguous. I think that's the best way to describe it.
I feel, I mean, I know pretty much now that this is what Suicide Squad was going for, but they'd already started filming it, so they fucked it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they tried.
I will say that
really
Marvel's
hard.
done a much better job than DC so far.
Yeah. Well, we've got Wonder Woman coming up, and I know how you feel, and
I don't really mind. I hope it's good. If it's not good,
I want
then
it
it
to be good.
sucks.
I think because Wonder Woman's like this huge. I love Wonder Woman. I'm all about female superheroes. Yeah, I know.
Except for when I brought up Captain Marvel earlier.
Yeah. Well,
And she went, who the fuck is that?
yeah. Well, that's more of the actor and less of the actual character.
I don't know anything about her.
Captain Marvel or
yeah,
the Cap?
I don't know anything about Captain Marvel.
Neither do I. But I really love Wonder Woman because she's very iconic for me. And same thing with Harley Quinn and all that stuff. So I'm hoping it's going to be good. I'm hoping. Who knows where it's going to go. So far the trailers look really okay.
They look good.
They look decent.
They do look good.
Yeah.
Does look like Captain America. As we
I
said.
was just going to say that. I was
Looks
going to
like
be
Captain America in World War One.
yeah, exactly. That's literally what was it? Stan Sebastian and that main guy in the one. Sebastian Stan. I can't his name because they're both first names. But Sebastian Stan and that guy you see in the trailers that it's technically Wonder Woman's love interest.
What's his name? Captain Kirk from Star Trek. I can't
Yeah.
remember his fucking Chris Pine. That's
Chris
it.
Pine. They look very similar too. It kind of freaks me out a little bit.
They do a little.
Yeah, and then so that's what kind of, and then the whole setting with the war, and then how they're all even the way they dress and all that, and how it's from back in the days.
Back in the days.
Back in the days, but it's to me, I was just the first Avenger. Nope.
No, the first Justice League.
The first
League member.
The first league. Yeah, it doesn't work as much.
And I'm just looking over there. I know they're currently filming Aquaman here, actually,
Oh yeah.
in Queensland. But
I'm really gunning for the actor for Aquaman.
Jason Momoa,
Yeah, he's amazing.
who used to be
Khal Drogo.
Drogo, and then he died.
Yeah.
Spoilers. But if you don't know that, seriously,
Yeah, dude, come
come
on.
on. But yeah, they've got The Flash. I don't know why. Who's going to watch that? I mean, I'm sure there are people who love The Flash, but I don't.
No one likes
I don't understand it.
Wait, didn't we already have a Flash film a while back? No?
Did we?
Maybe
I don't
not.
know. I doubt it.
I think Flash is just a very boring character, though.
He runs very fast, though.
Do you remember, in, what was it? The Avengers 2, and it's she's really weird and he's really fast. He's just really fast. That's
Yeah.
it.
No, the
About Quicksilver.
not Quicksilver though. I don't think
Yeah.
they're allowed to call him Quicksilver.
One of the Maximoff twins.
I don't think they're even allowed. Oh yeah, they're allowed to call them that. I don't even know what the fuck.
Yeah, but he's just really fast. I just think you can't do a lot with...
Then he died.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the one time Marvel killed anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Quicksilver.
I guess they didn't have enough money to pay for both twins, so had to be the Olsen.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, they couldn't keep Kick-Ass.
That's true. Yeah.
They just couldn't have him. He had too many other commitments on Godzilla. I don't know.
Is Godzilla coming out? Sorry, side note. Is Godzilla coming out or?
What do you mean, Godzilla? It's been out.
No, but there's another one.
Oh, the
coming.
Japanese one.
Yeah. No.
Is there a Japanese
Because
one?
you know how there was Skull Island, Kong Skull Island. Apparently,
Yeah.
there's going to be another one after that. That's Godzilla, unless Godzilla was the one before that.
I believe that I can't remember
They're all somehow
I
interconnected.
can't remember which studio
Oh, no,
owns...
there's going to be a fight-off between them. That's what I heard. That might not be true.
Didn't I tell you this?
Probably.
Because it was I can't remember which studio, but I think they own the rights to King Kong, Godzilla, and Pacific Rim. And the prediction is that they're going to bring them all into one movie at some point.
Please not by Michael Bay. Please not by Michael Bay. Please.
No, I'll probably get Guillermo del Toro to make it.
Yeah.
He's better than Michael Bay. I know that.
There's only a handful of people that aren't that are worse than Michael Bay. M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah,
okay, anyways.
terrible.
So we've got Aquaman, Black Panther, which I really...
No, that's Marvel. So
Oh, yeah.
as far as the Marvel thing goes, like, Doctor Strange is pretty good.
Doctor Strange was good. Doctor Strange was like Iron Man, though.
Yeah.
It was. We talked about this. Doctor Strange was literally
they're all made by Stan Lee. He's only got so many ideas.
Yeah, I know. You know what I think is just funny? It's just like literally like when I used to read certain novels, like really poorly written novels, like 50 Shades. Don't judge me.
Yes, continue.
Like it's funny because every like time a new character was introduced, or every time like, in fact, every time the book just started,
Did they
like,
say their job out loud to somebody, and then you'd instantly know everything about them? Apparently,
no. It was more of the lines of literally every book kind of had the same idea, just different theme plastered over it. It was kind of funny. So you'd see like obviously the very basic one is just like introduction, middle, there's a problem, fix this problem, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And like for example, that would be like the format. And then you'd see the first book where it's like the girl gets introduced, she meets the boy, they can't be together for a certain reason, and they get together. And then the second book would be like, girl and boy are happy, then they for some reason can't be together again, and then they get together. Like literally on repeat again and again and again. And like I think certain films like Doctor Strange and Iron Man, like so similar.
Yeah,
like
they've got their formula down.
Yeah.
They've certainly got that down.
But I think that's what's great about Guardians of the Galaxy, because it's that film, I think it was like the dark horse, like no one expected it to do that well.
Nobody knew what it was.
Yeah, nobody knew what it was. Nobody expected to do that well. They kind of was just like, we're just going to do this and see what happens. And it just exploded, and everyone loved it so much.
I think a lot of credit has to be given to James Gunn because he writes and directs it, and he's come from a very odd place of being a writer for Troma. And he's even got I can't remember his name. His name's completely escaped me, but the guy, the Troma guy, is in Lloyd Kaufman, I think his name is. He's actually in Guardians of the Galaxy 1. For like one shot, he's in it, and he's one of the prisoners screaming at them. But yeah, so James Gunn's like one of his earliest things was writing Tromeo and Juliet for them. And it just... I haven't seen it, but I hear good things because it's supposed to be funny. But
he's a good writer. I think he's just a very, like, things just flow along quite nicely. And, like, the film just makes sense. Like, there's no... Like, I think with some films it's very stop, start.
Yeah.
Especially, like, I don't want to mention bad films, but Pitch Perfect 2. Like, what happened, obviously, like, the first film was really amazing. Like, everyone loved it, not for the storyline, just for the music and the humour with them.
Was it amazing?
Well, I liked the music.
Linda liked it.
I liked the a cappella stuff. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm a girl. And, like, obviously, if Rebel Wilson was funny, you don't have to agree, but obviously most people thought she was really, really funny in that film.
I think she's fine.
Yeah. And then, obviously, in the second film, they kind of ruined it by forcing it, because they forced a lot of her lines, and she didn't get as much. I don't think she got as much, like, witty stuff in as more she just started saying random nonsense, and they were hoping that it was going to be funny, and then you knew it wasn't. Whereas I think with the second film, they kind of kept that kind of witty punchline going.
First film?
No, like for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so for the second film, they kept that kind of humour going, whereas it wasn't like they were forcing... Obviously, certain parts, I felt like, that's not that funny. But all in all, for what it was, I laughed, and I laughed quite... Like, I didn't force myself to laugh. It was just naturally funny, and, like, Baby Groot was funny.
Yeah.
And, like, all the comedic elements that you got from the first film, that you enjoyed from the first film, were still there. And it wasn't like they were trying to artificially just manufacture that again in the second film, which I think is really great.
Yeah, so, Rocket's still the smart ass. And,
Groot's so cute.
Groot's pretty much all the physical slapstick sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Drax is doing the literal not understanding of sarcasm or anything.
He was actually really funny.
Yeah.
In the new one, like
I almost reckon he's funnier in this one.
Yeah, he's because I think in the first one he's all like, "I'm there for revenge," blah blah blah. And the second one, I think he's just a lot more like, just kind of silly, you know.
Yeah.
He's just there and he just makes funny jokes, and he obviously is still very literal.
His relationship with Mantis, who's one of the new characters, who's with Ego the whole time, helps him sleep. Yeah, she can sense other people. She can like interpret other people's emotions and change them sometimes. Yeah. And she, obviously, there's the bit in the trailer that everybody knows where she does it to Star-Lord.
Yeah. And it's like, sexual feelings for her. And he just, like, Drax starts, like, dying.
Yeah, Drax starts
It's so funny.
But he has a good relationship with her. It's like, it's almost like a father-daughter thing in a way. And it's like the whole thing of, he finds her ugly, like really ugly. He hates the sight of her.
Yeah.
And he says it multiple times.
Like, I think it's like it's like laughing at himself. Oh, and that scene with Gamora and Star-Lord, how like they're like, oh, it's like we can't really tell each other how we feel, or else we're going to lose views or something along those lines. It was really funny. I think it was just
the whole like when they're talking about
the
talking,
unspoken thing.
They use the sitcom rule.
Yeah.
You can't let the relationship start properly or come to a satisfying conclusion, or else the ratings will drop.
Yeah.
And they reference Cheers.
Yeah, I think it's really funny because I think literally those two relationships are just poking fun at each other, or just the whole idea of romantic relationships, because it's like, oh, I know you guys think we're going to get together, and it's so obvious, but we're not, and we know what we're playing.
Star-Lord and Gamora, that'll probably be like Avengers or something.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the whole thing with Drax and because typical people might be thinking, oh my God, they should totally get together. And then they're going, no, that's absolutely ridiculous. And we're going to show you why it's ridiculous. Yeah. And then it's funny because at the end, he's like looking at her and she's like looking out into space.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're beautiful. And then we go, oh, that's so cute. And
then
he's
on
like,
the inside.
on the inside. Yeah. And it's so funny. Oh, but my favorite scene, apart from the first scene, my favorite scene ever is that scene where they're all standing. She's like, Mantis is like on the floor. They're all just stopped down, and then they're trying to defeat Ego. Yeah. And the music's playing, and the camera's like swirling, and then you think it's going to be like this superhero kind of that shot, and then Mantis gets hit by like a huge stone.
Yeah, knocked out.
Gets knocked out, and then Ego comes back, like wakes up again, and starts like going for them, and they're like, oh shit. I think that's so funny because it literally just sums up the whole film and and epitomizes the whole fact that we're just here to like have fun, and we're not going to take each other really. We're not going to take this really seriously, and it's just what it is.
They set the tone very well with that first scene. I mean, that's why I think why I like the first scene the most.
Yeah,
just the it's basically just they're about to fight. They fight the squid. There's a huge squid. I mean, you see it in the trailer a lot. It's one of the main bits, but it lands on the platform, and Rocket's been trying to like get a speaker system hooked up because he knows that Star-Lord likes music.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, don't worry about it. It's not important. Just don't worry. And then Groot just puts the cables together haphazardly. And Mr. Blue Sky by ELO starts up. And then the camera doesn't move from Groot. It just stays on him the whole time. And it's just him dancing around while everybody else gets the crap beaten out of him by the squid in the background.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Oh, and the best part is like the whole part with Gamora and the sword, and because they're like, oh, Star-Lord's like, oh, I thought guns were my thing and swords were your thing, and she's like, we're about to take on like blah blah blah, and you want me to do it with a sword?
Yeah.
And then he's like, I just thought guns were my thing. And then at the very end, you see like her gun stops working, and she goes, oh fuck! So she just pulls out her sword and goes running towards it. Yeah. It's just the first scene is probably one of the best scenes ever, and I think it's very.
There's a few like real standout set pieces. Obviously, there's that. There's another scene where Rocket's defending the crashed ship against all of Yondu's guys, and he's just throwing them up into the air continuously, and they fall down. There's, I mean, we'll say from now on we're going to spoil things.
Yeah,
basically.
Spoilers.
Later on in the film, Yondu's basically has a mutiny, and like they throw out all of his loyal crew and kill them basically, and then leave him and Rocket in a cell with Baby Groot, and they all like get drunk and fall asleep and everything, and then when they're escaping and Yondu gets his arrow back, there's like this really long, well not long, but it's really good sequence of him basically taking out everybody on the ship with it.
Yeah.
Which is great, which was fantastic.
I know,
Very well
it was-
done. And the scene before that when they're trying to get Groot to
grab
see
the horn thing?
Yondu's like mohawk thing that controls
the arrow.
the arrow gets blown off, and he needs his like other replacement prototype that's in his drawer, and they spend about 5 minutes trying to get Groot to find it, and he doesn't understand anything that they say, and he keeps bringing back the wrong thing.
Well, the first thing he brings back, and he's just like, "That's my underwear," and the Groot's like, "I am Groot," and is so funny because the way they've put like Groot is like this, you know, like I said, such an innocent little thing, and he just looks at them. He's like holding. He looks so proud too. He's like, "I am Groot," and they're like, "No, it's like it's an antenna," and then. It's funny because Rocket can understand everything Groot's saying, everything, but then for some reason it doesn't translate back.
Yeah,
and I think
Groot can't really understand what they're on about.
Yeah, and I think that's actually such a funny thing because it obviously you'd make sense, but like at the same time, it's way funnier the fact that you can't like Rocket can understand Groot or at least thinks he can understand in some way.
I think it's the whole like baby thing as well.
Yeah, exactly. And he's a baby, and so like the baby can't understand what you're saying, but you can understand what the baby wants.
Yeah,
but
yeah, he gives him the little badge.
Like, and he brings back someone's toe.
Yeah, he brings back a toe. And Rocket just goes to Andy, do you have like a freezer somewhere that's got like just toes and body parts and stuff? And he goes, nope. He goes, okay, I don't think we'll ask any questions about that. And like it even gives him like the little badge that's supposed to be like it's like the pirate badge or whatever.
Yeah.
He gives him the drawer that it's in has got this on it. When you find that, you need to open it and bring it to me. And then he just puts the badge on his head.
Yeah.
And it's like he thinks you want him to wear it as a hat.
Yeah.
And
it's like he doesn't like it as a hat.
He doesn't like it as a hat. He doesn't like people with hats. He hates them.
It's like because you don't like sideburns? What, you don't like hats? Because Rocket and Groot, that chemistry is just it works so well. And like I think it's the fact that Rocket's such a smart ass, but then he's so kind and gentle with Groot. And then it's
sort of.
Well, I guess
he calls him an idiot every 5 minutes.
Yeah, but like at the same time, he like obviously has a soft spot for him.
Bradley Cooper's voice acting is really good.
Amazing, yeah.
So most of the time, I couldn't tell it was him.
Yeah.
Like I mean, when you think about it, you can, but you don't. You're not distracted by it. You're not thinking that's Bradley Cooper talking.
No, because you can just whenever I picture that voice, it's Rocket.
Yeah.
But I think it's cute how like he gets captured by when Yondu's like team kind of ship captain the thing cohort come and they surround him and Rocket's like, oh fuck, you know, whatever. And then he's like, oh, if you let Groot go, I'll tell you everything you need to know, blah blah blah. I thought that was really cute, like because at the end of the day, no matter how much of like a smart ass, and it's a constant thing the whole film, everyone's calling him a fucking asshole because he always makes really horrible jokes that at the end of the day it's like, you know, he's this father figure to Groot and he looks after him and he makes sure he's okay. But I
do see it's more. It's like it's Han Solo and Chewbacca.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Like, Rocket is Han Solo, and he's
Groot is Chewbacca.
They're smuggling things. They're selling weapons. They're doing that sort of stuff. And Groot's the big brute who doesn't speak properly.
Yeah. But I thought it was the thing I realized through that. Sorry if you don't mind me.
That's why I said this is a much better Star Wars movie than Rogue One.
Yeah, weird. Take tips. The thing I actually thought was really interesting, like I know, like I said, this whole film is just a big like, oh, you know, it's funny and it's just a feel good film. I think is something I picked up throughout watching the whole thing, but this underlying theme of family,
yes,
and like family relationships, like the father and son, the sisters Nebula and Gamora, and like. Even like Mantis and Drax, like that father-daughter, like it kind of him talking about
the whole thing, it was like in the first one, it was like, oh, we're just a group of losers. Now they're a family.
Yeah, now they're family.
And it's like, I hate to reference it, but it's like Fast and Furious.
Okay.
They're always like, we're a family.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. But
ride or die, blah, blah, blah.
But there's a lot of family, like, relationships that go on in this whole film, and I don't think you see all of them, but it's definitely a strong theme that they
work it really well, and it works well through the music as well. I mean, I noticed like there's a lot of not necessarily music that definitely tells about family, but there are certain, like there's The Chain by Fleetwood Mac. Pretty much it's played twice in the movie. Once when half of them are leaving Rocket behind to go and see what Ego's doing, and the other time is when Peter basically kills Ego, his father. And then there's another song which is, what's it called? Brandy.
Oh, yeah.
By Looking Glass, which is basically about, I mean, if you put it in context of the film, it's about Star-Lord's mother and father, basically.
Yeah.
Because, it's about a woman who's
Yeah.
works on the docks in a bar,
Yeah.
and she's got a sailor that comes back and forward for her and gives her stuff, but he'll never
Stay with her. Yeah. Yeah.
That sort of thing.
I think it's also like this, because originally, like, I don't know how to word this very well. I guess originally in the first film we see, like, he's very, very connected to his mother. Like, Star-Lord loves his mother so much. And so you never really see him thinking about his father until his father comes into the picture. And then his dad obviously is like a psychomaniac, blah, blah, blah. But he sometimes, like, he somehow gets Star-Lord on his side and, they act like... And it seems strangely normal for the first half of the film until you realise Igor's crazy.
Well, it's interesting because they don't really introduce a bad guy for ages. Like I think that's probably the one complaint a lot of people have with it is that the middle bit does drag a little bit. It's
It's kind of fueled by the humour alone.
Yeah, it's like all the characters are doing exactly what they should be doing, but it's because there's no threat necessarily for a little while. Like there's stuff happening to Rocket.
Yeah.
But it's not the central part.
Exactly.
The main character's always Star-Lord because he's the head of the group and all that. But there's no like big bad guy until you realise that Ego's going to turn on him.
You know, was actually speaking of Ego, like freaking, it's creepy as shit. This is one scene, and it shows him like because he's talking about reproducing with all these like different like species, and then you just see these huge like because he has this weird He has like a cathedral because he's a god. I mean, we should explain this. He's a celestial. So a god with a small G.
I was talking to a friend the other day, and who knows a bit more about the comics than I do, and they're basically like a celestial is probably more powerful than Thanos. But they kill him in this movie, and but I think James Gunn had to go to Fox to get the rights to Ego.
Okay.
Because they had it or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it was something like that. But yeah, they had to do something like that. But he's basically this god.
Yeah.
It's the same thing like with Thanos or anything like that. Motivation's always weird. It was like X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
When I saw that, and I was like, he wants to kill everybody because why? Because he can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, anyways, the scene I'm talking about is like he has a cathedral and like he's got all these statues representing him. And
he's built a whole planet himself.
Of himself. But the funny thing is this group of statues where it shows him mating with these different species.
Yeah, like every different species.
And it's really fucked up.
Well, it's not mating. He's making out with everybody.
Yeah, but it's weird as shit. But he's human in every statue.
I feel like James Gunn did that as like a joke.
Yeah.
Because it looked like it was a weird visual.
It's weirder when it's plastered on like a freaking giant movie screen.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's like forgive me for putting this visual in your head, but we watched this birthing video in the middle of cinema class once. It was called like Baby Water Window or something like that, and it was supposed to be this indie film, but it pretty much was just his wife giving birth, and he filmed it because he fucking hates everyone. And we watched it in this huge cinema, and it's just this picture of a vagina on our screen and a baby coming out of it, and I'm like, wow, you can't come back from that. And I wasn't as obviously gross as that, but I was watching the scene, and then there's like it flashes up there just for not even longer than a few seconds. Honestly, it's just there for a little bit, and then it goes away. And I'm thinking, why would you want to show that to your child?
I think that's funny.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a god. He doesn't see it like that.
I guess that's true.
Everything is so small to him. He's been everywhere,
including his dick.
Thank you for that.
Sorry,
I don't know what that was.
Sorry.
I don't know what.
Cut that out, Ren, please.
No. Please. Staying in, that's what she said.
Oh my god. No, but like no, it's not a scene. Obviously it doesn't make any effing sense, but like the scene itself I think is just so funny as like all the scenes I've talked about.
It makes more sense if you watch other James Gunn movies because it really, that is like his
signature.
He puts weird shit in all of his movies.
Yeah, well, Guardians of the Galaxy is great because it's kind of one of those films where I feel like anything could happen.
Yeah.
Because we're in space, motherfucker.
Like, have you seen any of James Gunn's movies?
I don't know him too well as a director.
There's two. I've only seen one other one. But I've got Slither. Slither's a different film entirely, but that's basically about like worms. like these monster worms that like go into. And it's got like Nathan Fillion and Michael Rooker who plays Yondu's in it as well. But the only other film of his I've seen, and it was really good, is called Super, and it's got Rainn Wilson who plays Dwight from The Office.
Okay.
And what's her name? Juno. Ellen Page.
Yeah, Ellen Page, yeah.
And Kevin Bacon, Liv Tyler, a bunch of others. And it's basically like a guy who loses... This really pathetic guy who loses his girlfriend to a drug dealer, and he decides he's going to become a superhero.
Oh, I think I've heard of that
and his,
film.
Yeah, his weapon of choice is a wrench.
Wonderful.
Like, it's really silly and funny.
Yeah.
And really violent, and it's
like
just...
Guardians of the Galaxy, yeah.
But not... No, but like...
A bit more PG. A bit less PG.
Yeah, it's... Obviously, it's upped a bit. Like, the violence is actually violent.
That's...
And there's a very odd scene where Ellen Page basically rapes him, which is very odd as well. It's a weird movie, but it's good.
Rape scenes are really uncomfortable for me to watch, though. I'm always just like, okay.
It's kind of played for laughs. Because it's like... I don't know how to explain it. You'd have to actually watch it.
It's one of those things you have to see.
It's a very good movie because the characters are like this. They all work.
Yeah.
They make sense.
Yeah.
And they do. And it's...
You're not forcing
It's
anything.
another thing as well. It's like, if it wasn't so funny, it would be incredibly depressing because it's that whole thing of comedy coming from tragedy and all this stuff. But it's a really... Like, it's quite a bleak movie in a way, but...
Well, I think it's like the same... I mean, that's what I think we were talking about as well before. The fact that with the Avengers, we're kind of caring less about that now because we feel like, if it's not depressing, then it's just like, I don't want to say way too kosher.
Civil War didn't do much for me.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
at all.
There's just like too much of,
we'll just talk. We've basically go and see Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Volume 2.
Yes.
It's good. I don't care if you don't like it as much as the first one. It's still good.
It's a very good film, and it's something actually worth putting your money down to
personally,
see.
I find it about on par with the first one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, the comedy, it's very consistent. It's not like one of those films where the first one's really good and it gradually kind of decreases.
Yeah. It's not like Iron Man 1 to 2.
2, yeah.
It's not a great big fall off because it sucks.
You know what's funny though? I actually know people who enjoyed Batman versus Superman. Like, I know this is completely different.
I don't have a problem with people enjoying it. That's not. I mean, anyway, talk about Marvel.
We're talking about Marvel, but it's just the comedy, the writing, the style. Everything's very consistent.
They chose their tone early on, and I think that was actually the problem with Civil War a little bit. Got a bit too serious, and then it went.
Oh wait,
funny
no.
again.
Oh, it was just like I said, too stop and start. Like, some parts were super serious, some parts were like, oh yeah, no, this is so funny, and like stuff like Vision wearing like a full human suit, like clothing, and then what's his name? The guy who's Ant-Man.
Paul Rudd
having his like jokes and all that, and there were certain parts that were like really funny.
That's the whole thing as well. It's like you have this pretty serious tone movie for most of it, and then the airport scene comes on, and then Ant-Man's there for no reason.
Yeah,
they went, oh, we've got him. He's in the van, and he wakes up and he goes, hey, I'm here.
Yeah,
and they get Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and that's more to do with the fact that they were going to make Homecoming.
Yeah,
than they actually needed him.
Yeah,
but that being said, Spider-Man was my favourite part of Civil War.
Definitely. But like, that's probably
I'm actually looking forward to Homecoming.
Really?
That looks pretty good. Okay. In my opinion.
Got my fingers crossed. So far, nothing's really beat that first Spider-Man film.
The first two.
Yeah, the third one, no. But the first
one sucks. The first two were good.
Yeah, but
Sam Raimi knows what he's doing.
But it's like what you said, like Guardians of the Galaxy, it makes sense. The characters make sense. The storyline makes
It's actually fun.
Yeah, it's actually enjoyable.
I mean, that's the whole problem with the DC movies. That they were so
serious.
They're really, the tone is just dark and.
But
that's Zack Snyder's fault, though.
I don't mind it being dark, but then I think the issue went wrong when they wanted to be dark, but then Marvel had so much success with humor that they wanted to be funny and dark.
Oh, I mean, everybody knows that Deadpool put a wrench in the works for everybody. I think. Because I believe that like they were planning a Wolverine movie for ages to like finish. That Hugh Jackman was saying he wasn't going to do one after the next one, and I think that they were just trying to decide what to do.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like after Deadpool they went, let's do Logan.
Yeah.
We can make an R-rated movie now.
Yeah.
And people will go and watch it. And they did a good job.
I don't understand this whole idea of wanting to keep everything so effing PG. Like, Suicide Squad being PG was just like, what? And then, like, I don't understand. You know, this idea, like, that's the thing about Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, you kill people, people die. There's not, like, amazing violence because it's still, like, aliens and robots. Or not robots.
It's not disturbing violence.
Yeah, it's just, it's not like Game of Thrones violence. It's just, but it's violent. You know, there's action sequences and people do pass away.
Yeah, people do die.
And I just don't understand, like, I was talking to Ren about this scene in Civil War where, well, let's just call them by their superhero names. I'm not going to use their actor names, but, like, Bucky's obviously on the run and the police find him and Captain America comes in, tries to save him. And as Bucky is running, he pushes this policeman off the side of, so they're up, like, 4 or 5 flights of stairs, pushes him over the side of one of the stairs. And then Captain America grabs the guy, pulls him up, and he's like, oh, come on, you're better than that. And I'm like, no, he's not, because he's an assassin. So he's not really better than that. So can you just let that guy die so we can get on with this, rather than you saying, oh, I'm going to keep this guy morally correct for this one film, even though in the past he was an assassin.
I think they're trying to... I went into Civil War thinking that there were going to be 2 deaths. I mean, I know only, like, passing things about Civil War, the comic book, and I know that there's a lot more heroes in it than are in this one, but I know that by the end of Civil War, I believe that Captain America's dead. Yeah. By the end of it. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But I knew that they weren't going to do that.
Yeah.
But I expected them to, like, because it was Iron Man and Captain America were, like, the main... I thought that they would take away their 2 best friends.
Oh, yeah. Like,
so I thought they would kill War Machine and they would kill Bucky.
They didn't kill War Machine. That's what confused me.
They nearly killed War Machine. And then
they were just like, wait, no, stop.
Then they fixed him in 2 seconds.
I know. It was just
He gets hit by a laser beam from Vision, who apparently doesn't make any mistakes unless the script tells him to.
Yeah.
And then he hits War Machine, and War Machine falls several kilometers to the ground.
Yeah, but you know what, like, is the biggest, like, piss taker of them lot? Like, the fact that, like... So Vision is, like, the super being, you know, he could defeat...
Thanos.
Not Thanos. Who was the other person?
Ultron,
yeah, you know. And then, for some reason...
That was a waste of James Spader.
But for some reason, Scarlet Witch can take him down. Or, like...
Yeah, she can.
And then, to me, that made very little sense, because I think she was, like, the biggest fuck you in the whole entire film. Like, every time someone was about to die, she'd be like, no, can't die. No, I'm going to use my powers to stop you from dying.
Like, people do die in Civil War, it's just, you don't care.
Yeah, well...
They die at the start, there's that explosion, and then that's it.
No, but I'm, like, talking a main character here.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I mean. Like, you don't... Yeah. They're just... we don't know anybody. Yeah. It's just, they're all dead.
Yeah, I'm not, like... Okay. We're not saying, like, every single...
But it's not like Batman v Superman... not Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, where a city disappears off the face of the earth.
Yeah, true.
You go, what the hell is this?
But, like, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, we're just kind of, like... We're not saying that every superhero has to die, but we're thinking, like, there's got to be some consequence.
Well, that was the whole thing as well. It was like... I was sitting at the end of Civil War going, did this change anything?
No.
Like, it didn't feel like it changed anything. I felt at the end of it, I felt like we were back where we started.
Exactly. It was just a filler. I already said it. I've already said this. I'm going to say this again. It was a filler film.
It felt like it was there just to get, okay, we've got Spider-Man and Black Panther now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everybody's going to fight for a bit, and we're going to have a really fun sequence, and we're going to find out that Bucky killed Iron Man's parents.
Yeah, that's
which was the most effective part of the movie.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The most
kind of defeated by the fact that the previous scene is the airport bit. Pretty much. Not exactly, but pretty much.
What I think is funny is that they've put this huge fight sequence at the very middle of this film. And so you think that, oh, wait, well, now this is done, it's going to tie up.
The middle?
It's pretty close to the middle.
God, I can't even remember.
I know. It's like, it's not dead spot in the middle, but it's in, like, you know, it's not exactly, you know, in the first, like, the last 40 minutes of the film. Because what I find is funny is you have this huge fight sequence that's really kind of, not funny, but obviously just kind of
funny.
It is, yeah. I mean, and then, like, Ant-Man grows the size of, like, you know, a giant building, and it's kind of, it's, like, very traditional Marvel kind of, everyone's fighting, blah, blah, blah. And then the very last fight scene is just this huge, like, really depressing kind of Iron Man and Captain America and Winter Soldier literally beating the shit out of each other. And that's not funny. And it just kind of was like... And then you don't even know who the villain really is.
It still wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. It was a good scene, but then it seemed like two separate films.
Several different movies, yeah.
Yeah, and they were kind of like, well, we're going to take...
I think that's just what happens when you make several different movies and from several different characters. It's like watching... It's like going from Iron Man to Thor to Captain America 2.
Yeah. And it's just a huge...
Captain America 2 is still, in my opinion, the best movie that Marvel's made.
I really did enjoy Captain America 2. I thought it was a bit long. I think it was a bit long.
It is a bit long, but it's good. It's actually good. They played it off as a spy thriller sort of movie, and that made it so much more interesting.
I still really enjoyed Captain America. Like, I always watched Captain America, the first...
Avenger, the first one.
The first Avenger. I don't know why. I think it's just the whole fact that it's in a different timeline.
I like the first half of that movie,
Yeah.
and the second half is boring to me.
That's true.
Because it just doesn't... Nothing's really a threat to him in the second half, and he just sort of kicks everyone's ass, and then it's over. The first half, I like the way they played up on the war, because they had the whole... Like, his character development's kind of fun. He's this tiny little guy,
exactly.
and then they make him into this big dude. And it's supposed to be what the Hulk later used and fucked up to turn himself into...
I liked the idea of, like, he was a big guy, but in his mind he was still that little guy. And I like they played on that. And I think, obviously, as the film went on, he lost that because he got
grew,
used to it.
Literally, he's a character.
Yeah, he grew as a character. So original, Marvel.
It's fine. It's old. I mean, it actually was it's actually an old comic.
Yeah. Look, I don't know why I enjoyed it. I guess it's the whole idea of, like, it's just Captain America.
I just like the first half.
Before,
mainly.
yeah. This is before everything got complicated. Things got weird.
Especially the fact that they don't. The first half of the film, they don't even use him like in the war.
Yeah.
They use him as morale, morale boosting. Like he's there for performances.
Yeah.
Like they get a guy dressed up as Hitler and they get him to fake punch him in front of him. Like then.
Yeah. Well, because he's technically
claps.
so precious, like they can't afford to lose him.
But it's like.
The whole
you know perfectly well that he would kick everyone's ass.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that's why we're there. I mean, I suppose we have to treat the characters in the film like they don't know that.
Yeah.
And it's... Yeah. I think Civil War as well suffered from the fact that it has to set up for 10 other movies.
Yeah.
And same with Age of Ultron. Even worse.
Yeah.
Much worse.
That was
than,
horrible. Like,
that sucked.
You could... it was a good film. Age of Ultron was a really enjoyable film, don't get me wrong, but you could just
I think it's the low point of the whole
Really?
franchise. I mean, Thor's mediocre, but it's
Thor
not
was the low
disappointing.
point. Really?
I'll say the low point is probably the Hulk. The Incredible Hulk.
Oh, well, that first film.
Nobody cares about it. Nobody even mentions it.
Yeah, no one even knows it really exists. I think it was one of those... It's one of those things
I assumed for ages it had nothing to do with the rest of them.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I just didn't even think about it. I assumed that that was their other attempts to make another Hulk movie.
Yeah.
And then they just abandoned it again, and then they just brought the Hulk in later. And then I realised it's actually part of
exactly. I don't know. I mean, Marvel... We talked about Marvel for a long time, and we talked about where it was going.
Disney owns everything.
Disney, freaking hell. Technically, everyone's just a Disney princess, isn't it? They're all Disney princesses. All of them.
Yes.
Captain
Scarlet
America,
Witch, everything.
Iron Man. They're all Disney princesses.
Oh, no.
Imagine Tony Stark as a Disney princess.
He is a bit of a princess.
He is, yeah. I mean, actually, Tony Stark's one of my favourite characters. Like, just especially in the first Iron Man film.
I am glad they don't make Iron Man movies though anymore.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad that they don't.
He's all Iron Man'd out.
It's funny. I really enjoyed Iron Man 3.
Yeah. No, definitely.
And I know how many people hate that movie.
Why?
I know that the comic book fans hated the Mandarin because he wasn't really the Mandarin.
Okay.
Ben Kingsley. I know that was one thing. I mean, the story doesn't really make sense, but I don't care. Once again, it's like Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't care if the story doesn't make sense. I just care if it's like
enjoyable.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, but it doesn't make sense. It's always a case of why didn't they just call the Avengers? It's like, well, because
it's expensive.
Yeah, they're not going to make
another Avengers
It's not
film.
just going to be Avengers every time.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, the thing I love most about Iron Man is
I think
Shane Black's the guy who wrote and directed it.
Yeah.
And he's, Lethal Weapon, The Nice Guys, and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And he's great. The movie's hilarious.
I think what I liked about the third Iron Man film, because I feel like the first film, obviously, it's really good. Like, it's just a well-done introductory film. Second film, obviously, you're just kind of like, what the fuck is going on? And then I think the thing I actually liked about the third film was just the fact that he wasn't really in the suit for most of it. He was just Tony Stark using his own skills, like not
I think that was the other complaint as well. It's like, why isn't he Iron Man? It's like, because Iron Man's boring.
Yeah. It's not fun if he's just going to pew-pew everyone and shoot everyone. Like, he actually had to do, how he infiltrated.
They took it down smaller scale.
Yeah.
Well, I say smaller scale. Small scale for a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Smaller scale, so it was just like he had to survive on his own.
Yeah. And just,
brain,
yeah.
pretty much.
I mean, he's very... And it showed, like, his actual talents, which was... He was smart. He's a super genius.
Shane Black's very good at the subverting your expectations with your humour.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the best gags in that movie is when he goes to call in his suit at the end, and he's got the thing, and he's waiting for it, and it's coming, and then it just kind of falls on him, and he goes, shit. It's like, oh, God damn it. Yeah. That didn't work.
No, it didn't.
And even stuff like when he gets his hand, like the hand comes through the window and he like breaks out of whatever restraints and he gets to like zap one guy and the guy goes, look, I don't even like working here. I don't even know what they do. And he just lets him go. He just runs away.
I think it's stuff like that I really wish Marvel would focus on, like just the small things, or just
It depends on who you're working with. Like,
I understand, but like obviously it wouldn't. I don't think it'd work as well for Captain America, because Captain America.
Captain America is more serious. He's more.
Tony Stark's more like
he's a man of action.
You can tell Tony Stark, not that he's crazy, but he's a bit crazy. He's a bit crazy in the best way.
They hired Robert Downey Jr. for a reason.
Well, he's
because
fabulous.
He's very good at playing himself.
Yeah. But like it works. It works very well, and like I don't really think I've seen him in any other films after Iron Man.
I've seen him in other things. I mean, obviously they're not that big.
Yeah,
that is what he's known. He's going to be known as forever.
Oh, and then like playing a black guy in Tropic Thunder. Was it Tropic Thunder?
No, he's not actually. That's the thing. He's not actually playing a black guy. He's playing a Australian actor playing a black guy in a movie.
That's a tongue twister.
I can't remember. That movie's hilarious.
Yeah, it was really funny. I don't really... I mean, I remember, but I don't really remember the exact mumbo jumbo. The exact plot. All I know was just like...
they get dropped into like a real situation.
Oh, and they think it's all a film, and then bodies are blowing up, and they're like, oh, this is all just fake corn syrup. No, it's not.
It's really not. But on the DC side, we've got... Yeah, we do have Wonder Woman and Justice League, and I thought the Justice League trailer looked terrible, personally.
I haven't really seen it.
I think if you watch... I mean, I do all the time. Red Letter Media made a very good point of, like, you can't fucking see anything because it's so dark.
Yeah.
It's just dark.
It's kind of weird because some...
I don't know why they haven't gotten rid of Zack Snyder yet.
Who's Zack Snyder? Oh,
he did Man of Steel and Batman v Superman and Dawn of Justice. They were both pretty bad.
Yeah.
In fact, Man of Steel was better. He got worse. He actually got worse. And it's funny, I will say, like,
maybe I
used to be a fan of Zack Snyder. I don't mind the Dawn of the Dead remake. It's not great, but it's okay. It's not good compared to the old one, the original, but it's not bad. Yeah, it's fun. 300's good.
300 is very good. Wait, he did 300.
300's probably his best movie, in my opinion. I like it the most. Yeah. Then he did Watchmen, which I really liked when I saw it. But when I saw it, I hadn't read the graphic novel. And then I went and read the graphic novel, and then I watched it again, and now I hate it.
Okay. Makes sense.
So I was like, oh, there's just... The way they did the graphic novel is just so much better.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I can't say that I've hated every... You know what? I actually like the Justice League trailer. The one part I did like was when, like, obviously the Flash is sitting in limo with Batman, and then it's like, what's your superpower?
I'm rich.
I'm just really rich. Yeah. That was probably the funniest thing, but then...
But is that going to... That's the whole thing. It's like, is it going to clash with it?
Yeah.
Just like Suicide Squad did?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
This bleak-looking movie that's supposed to be like realistic 1 second, and then it's got a giant laser going into the sky the next, and the humor's just terrible.
It's just too much of, like, you want one thing, can't have the other. Like, you can't have both ends of the spectrum. Like, you're either really cartoony, like Marvel's really cartoony, you know, especially Guardians of the Galaxy.
Comic book movies. That can be cartoony. Yeah. I'm not saying you can't do it seriously. But then, Nolan proved that you can.
Yeah, but then, like, DC tries to be all dark and gritty and serious and realistic. And then it's like, oh, wait, no, mind. We want to be funny at the same time. We want to be this at the same time. And I'm like,
that's because people were complaining that Batman v Superman wasn't funny or anything.
Yeah, but then Batman v Superman...
That's not the thing that's wrong with Batman v Superman. It's just...
a lot of lazy writing. Pretty much. You can't replace, like, writing with...
I think there's been some good... I can't remember who said it, but... They said it's like Zack Snyder like deals in moments.
Yeah.
It's like there's just cool bits in it, but it doesn't make a cohesive movie that you want to watch, really.
Like,
I mean, once again, I don't... If people want to watch it, it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with people watching it. I'm just saying I don't like it at all.
I just...
And actually, you know, I do like... It's very entertaining if you like to watch things that are obviously bad, that make no sense.
Like
Because I did spend a lot of time laughing while watching Batman v Superman.
What? Did we watch the extended cut of that film?
I haven't seen the extended
It's
cut.
even fucking longer. And it just drags on more. The thing is, it doesn't add anything. It just drags on more.
It just makes it longer.
More and more and more. And then you're just thinking... At one point, you're just like... At any point, they stop to think, wow, guys, we've had a lot of pan shots here. Should we stop? No, let's keep going.
They don't. It's not good. It's just not good.
I don't know if they have a lot of panning shots. I don't even remember the film. Maybe I'm thinking of another film. Never mind. Ignore me.
I remember sitting and there were two scenes. There's the one that everybody knows, that everybody, I think, laughed at, which is... That's his mother's name, Martha.
Martha!
Everybody laughs at that.
Oh my God.
That was funny. But the bit where I was sitting in the cinema going, what? Was when there's the bit where Lex is trying to get the kryptonite to his lab.
Yeah.
And Batman shoots a tracking device in the back of the truck.
Yeah, and then he steals it?
Then he gets in the Batmobile and, like, drives after it, letting them know he's there. And I'm like, you put a tracking device...
Yeah, but he has to track the tracking device.
No, but like, why did you need to obviously chase after them when you could have just followed them?
What I thought was funny was, like, he went to all this effort to steal the kryptonite. Or, like, to get the kryptonite, like, you know, he chases him around and blah, blah, blah. And then the next scene just shows him stealing it.
No, it doesn't show him stealing it.
Doesn't it?
It shows
doesn't
them
it show
turning
him
up.
It? And then he just
gone.
has it.
And the batarangs in the thing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That was dumb, obviously. It's like, why don't you just show me that?
They didn't even show him stealing the thing.
Yeah, but what was even that whole sequence, right? He gets in the Batmobile and and then there's the whole action sequence, which is obviously the reason why they did it. But they set Batman up as like everything he does is on purpose, including like grappling a car, driving it around, spinning it, and the car like flips over onto another car.
Yeah.
And then he does something as dumb as like driving the Batmobile through the truck. So it like knocks off the back half of the truck almost where he put the tracking device. And you're going, I hope that wasn't on purpose, because that would then again defeat the purpose of him putting the tracking device on it again. Not to mention that Superman just comes out of nowhere.
You're just making fans angry now, Ren. You should stop.
I am.
You should just stop now because you're making people angry.
Probably. I'm making myself angry.
It's annoying. The thing that like the first time when I was watching, because obviously when I walked in to see Batman v Superman, not that I had extremely high hopes, but I was kind of like, you know what, the trailers have been good, and you know, so far there's been no really, well, this was obviously when the film first came out, there's been no horrible reviews, so I came and watched it, and I was watching it, and I'm thinking, okay, and then the scene with Batman in that dream sequence where he's in like,
when he's in a coat.
Yeah, and he's a coat and he walks out. And the thing that gets to this day, Ren,
funny.
To this day, I cannot get over this, and it just completely ruins the illusion for me completely, is Batman going to punch someone, and there is this brief delay of, you see his, like, he obviously misses. Or, like, you know, not that he misses, but he does this, and the guy goes, and he falls back. And then you see behind that guy, some guy holding a gun just standing there. And he's just standing there. And then after that, Batman knocks that guy out. The guy goes, oh, and you can see him going, my turn.
It's my turn to get beaten up.
And I'm just kind of like, oh my God. I was like, you can't take that. Can you at least move to the side and like run in or make it look like you're somehow fighting this battle? But he's just standing. He's just like, I obviously can't see me. He's like, and 3, 2, 1, 4, 1. And then he just like steps in. And I'm like, oh my, come on, you're better than this. And it just makes, like, things are just too, they're not even well planned out. They just go, oh, well, it's time for this to happen, so it's going to happen. And it's time for that to happen. And then like that whole scene with,
It's all forced.
That whole scene with the spear, how she throws it down into, we don't want to talk about that. Maybe
the whole reason he made a spear is stupid.
Yeah, like
he tries to shoot Superman and knowing perfectly well that's not going to kill him. It's like, well, why don't you just make kryptonite bullets, you idiot?
Yeah, I know. No, because it'd be too convenient.
Because Batman can't kill Superman, only Doomsday can.
Yeah, because Batman's a good person.
And then Batman runs around trying to stay away from Doomsday because he can't possibly do anything to him for like 10 minutes.
Oh, God, it's just... let's not... Look, we've spoken for hours and hours and hours and hours about Batman v Superman. And look...
Everybody has its piece of crap.
The end result we've all gotten to, the end conclusion is that it's shit.
I want to know when this superhero craze is going to end.
Never.
Because I'm getting
it's never
very
gonna end.
sick of it as well.
It's never going to end, Ren. It's been here for, 10 years?
It's like you got Infinity War Part 1 and 2 probably, by the looks of it, and that's the end of Phase 3. And from what
How many phases is there?
Well, it looks like there's a fourth now, because that's when Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 comes out. Is after Infinity War.
I don't want them to push Guardians of the Galaxy too much, because I feel like if they keep pushing it, then it's not going to be that great.
I mean, the thing I'm looking at right now, it says the Captain Marvel and Inhumans comes, but I don't know, comes in between the two Avenger parts.
Oh, wait. Is that another Green Lantern film?
Yeah, there's going to be a Cyborg and Green Lantern film, apparently.
No.
Apparently.
The Green Lantern film was horrible. I'm just going to say that now.
And a Shazam film. You know what Shazam is?
Like the music webs? The music app?
No. No, Shazam is it's such a stupid concept. It's basically, there's like a young... I don't know how he becomes this way, but it's like a teenager, and he says Shazam, and he turns into a fully grown man with superpowers.
Is this like Powerpuff Girls?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Or Power Rangers.
Oh, no. It's Mighty Morphin time.
Yeah. Or Sailor Moon. Kind of.
Yeah, but at least Sailor Moon does... Oh, God, I can't even... Sorry. Wait, so he says Shazam.
But they won't make Cyborg and Green Lantern until they've done Justice League 2, okay? You know, you got to pace yourself with this crap.
You just take the first ship before you take the second. Fuck me.
You got to eat in between.
I don't know how I feel about Cyborg. I definitely know how I feel about Green Lantern. Oh, look. If they can do anything better than what that film with Ryan Reynolds was, thank God.
Superhero movies are really unkind to Ryan Reynolds until he did Deadpool.
Yeah.
He did. He was Deadpool in Wolverine, the shitty Origins one where they have a fight on a nuclear reactor, I think.
Yeah.
And he's got laser beams and he can't speak. And then he's in Green Lantern. Yeah. Which looks terrible. I never saw it.
I know. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, because he and I don't really speak. Actually, he and I haven't spoken in a long time. But one of my ex-friends back in the day. Ex-friends. Like he. Oh. I was a bit of a bitch to him. Sorry. Sorry if you're listening.
Oh no.
Don't pull that face. No, but honestly, like,
it's really surprising.
He was full on raving about this film. And I just
Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He was like, "Oh, you know what was the coolest thing?" And he was talking about back when Marvel started doing that, like, you know, the extra sequence at the very end of the film.
Yeah.
And I think it was a sequence, and it actually
post-credit sequence.
The post-credit sequence, and it actually kind of indicated a sequel to the film. And he's like, "Oh, it's really cool because this. And I'm like, "Okay, that sounds pretty cool." And then, like, you know, a few years later, I come across the film and I look at the reviews and everyone's like, it's shit. It's just pure dog shit. And I'm like, oh, this is very, very awkward for me. I haven't seen it, but I've just heard absolutely, like, just appalling things about it.
I've heard it's terrible. I mean, you know, I won't say that I think it's terrible because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, obviously.
I haven't heard good things.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of like...
And it didn't look good. The trailer didn't make it look good.
No. It was apparently just very boring. A lot of, like... Just nothing good. DC just started off on the wrong foot, didn't they?
But that's not even a part of the latest.
No. But they just started on the wrong foot from the beginning.
I don't know. They were spoiled by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, they were.
And then it was like, what do we do without him? He's like a proper director. He doesn't want to make this crap the rest of his life. Zack Snyder. Yeah. Let's get Zack Snyder. He's an idiot. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
He's not an idiot.
Maybe he just needs the right
he is.
film.
I don't know.
I am intrigued by this Shazam thing. Honestly, I'm like, I was like really like Powerpuff Girls. Is this a thing now?
Love it, because the thing they're looking at, it's like two timelines, a Marvel and a DC one.
Yeah.
And the Shazam logo looks
weird.
like it belongs in the 40s.
Yeah. It just looks like, you know, you know what that reminds? It reminds me of like candy wrapper, like, you know how the candy wrappers, they have like, I think it's Pop Rocks or something like that. They have like that kind of colours. It's like a red font with yellow outline and it's all like jagged and all.
Yeah.
all pop rocky.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like, yeah. Like everything else, like Justice League is all slick, Avengers is all slick, and like the Cyborg, it all kind of looks kind of, you know.
Looks kind of modern. That looks
Modern.
like it's from, it looks like it belongs in like a wartime comic book of
Yeah.
Captain America beating up Nazis.
Yeah.
As literally like the sound effect it would have of like him punching someone.
Like Shazam.
Shazam. That is actually how he says it
wow.
as well, Shazam. And he turns it into...
Why are you telling me this?
I'm going to prepare you for the crap that we're going to have to watch at some point. I'm not really interested in the Black Panther movie either.
Neither am I. I don't really give a rat's ass about Black Panther.
I don't care about most of them anymore.
I think the only one I'm really interested in, or was interested in, was Civil War, because I enjoyed the Winter Soldier, and I wanted to see like more Captain America / Winter Soldier, but then that was just the biggest meh.
It wasn't a big pile of shit. It just wasn't.
Yeah, like I said,
okay.
like I said, we talked about this. It's not the worst film in the world, definitely not the worst film, but it's like it's just a very okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't even very funny or anything. Anyways, we should probably wrap up.
I'm trying to think, like, there's some films coming up that I've seen trailers for.
Lego Batman movie.
That's been and gone. So been and gone. I mean, I wanted to see it as well, but we missed it. But, you know, what could you really talk about for that? For like...
It's fucking awesome. Everything is awesome.
No, but like, we've had in the last couple of weeks, like, Kingsman: The Golden Circle trailer came out, and that looks awesome.
I'm so excited. I'm actually so excited for that. I think I like I remember watching the first one, and we didn't expect. I really thought it was going to be good.
So my whole story is I thought the trailer looked terrible
Yeah.
when I saw the trailer, and I went, I'm not interested in seeing that.
No,
it looks like another piece of shit. And then still at uni at the time, and then I just had, I think a lesson got cancelled or something, and I had one later on the day, so I was just in the city doing nothing, so I went, I'll go and see something. So I went to the cinema, and that was on at just the right time, and I went, okay, I'll see what this is like, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I full on wanted to see this film. Like as soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, British men in suits, yes, this is my bread and butter. I'm sorry, because like if you know me, I just like watching. I love watching Pride and Prejudice.
Colin Firth is in it as well.
Yeah, he's beautiful. See, this is why I can't review films. No, but like I was like,
you can't objectively evaluate Tom Hiddleston.
No, actually, I'm over Tom
sucks.
Hiddleston. he's shit. Look,
I'm so glad that Barbara Broccoli doesn't want him to play Bond.
Initially I was like, oh yeah, no, he'd be okay, and then I saw him in like a few other films.
The Night Manager is when I went, no fucking
exactly.
way.
I saw him in The Night Manager. I'm like, look, I like you as a person, just not as an actor.
But how do you know? You don't know him as a person.
I like you as the way you're portrayed on social media, but not as an actor.
Right. Okay.
Is that better?
I think you look smug all the time.
I'm okay with that.
Which is exactly what Barbara Broccoli said.
Yeah.
It's like, he's too smug and weak.
Yeah.
He can't be Bond. Anyway, I might get Daniel Craig back again.
Yeah.
And he'll look about 1,000 years old, but he'll still be kicking ass.
I feel like I initially was kind of reluctant because before then, like, all the Bonds were, like, really, like, dark. You know, like, a dark features.
Have you not seen any Bond movies? They are not dark. They are so stupid.
No, like, dark features. Like, dark hair.
Oh, right, okay. Yep.
Yeah, no, not like dark as
I thought you meant they were
no.
like dark movies, and I was like, I think you need educating on James Bond.
No, I mean like they've got dark
most
hair.
Most of them are garbage.
No, for fuck's sake, man, what's that? I'm a film. Please, don't treat me like I'm stupid. But like, no, they've got like dark hair and dark eyes and all that jazz. So then he was like blonde and blue-eyed. So I was a bit like, I don't know how I feel about you. But then I saw the actual, like, I think Casino Royale. I really enjoyed him in Casino Royale.
Casino Royale's awesome.
It was really good. Skyfall
was good.
It was okay.
But I think everybody knows it's The Dark Knight.
Yes.
Told from James Bond, basically.
Yeah, it is. It's so weird.
But, still good.
Yeah.
Spectre was crap.
I didn't even bother watching Spectre because at that point I thought Daniel Craig was done with Bond by that point. He didn't want to do anymore.
He looked like he didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm just here for the paycheck.
Yeah, I'm just here for the fucking money. I feel like some actors that just happens to some actors though. They're just like, I'm just here.
No, I mean, from what that movie, those movies would be a pain in the ass to be in.
Yeah.
The amount of freaking work you have to do those movies. It's physically, I mean.
It's physically very exhausting.
But, I mean, he might be in another one.
No, I'm sick of seeing Bond films. I'm just going to say that right now. I'm sick of seeing Bond films.
I'm not quite as sick of Bond films as I am of
superhero
movies.
Really?
And I think it's because they don't make Bond films as often.
That's true.
I mean, I think I've already said the guy who I'd like to be James Bond after Daniel Craig, which is Dan Stevens.
Yeah, you told me.
He was actually Beast in Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about him.
It's only because I've seen one film with him in it, which was The Guest, which I really enjoyed because it was like an 80s style John Carpenter movie where he's a soldier who's apparently returned home from the war, and he goes to like his buddy's house to inform them they're dead and to offer support. That's not really why he's there, and he's this cold-hearted crazy killer.
Oh,
and he plays it really well.
Oh, okay. It's weird because
and he's British as well, so it'd work.
Yeah, it'd work. Anyways, any films coming up that we want to look at? I don't really know.
I mean, us in Australia who like action movies have been waiting like 2 extra months to see John Wick.
Yeah, it's true.
It comes out this month here, where I think it's been and gone in America. It's probably like nearly on Blu-ray over there now.
Great.
And I have been hanging out to see it because I love the first one. It was awesome.
Yeah.
You haven't seen the first one?
No, I'm sorry.
You need to see the first one.
I do.
It's fantastic.
You know, I'm all about that weird indie film.
That's
not really.
I
watch weird things though. I watch stuff that don't make much sense.
Chad Stahelski's made John Wick 2, and he was one of the 2 directors of John Wick 1, and apparently it's fantastic, and I really want to see it. Meanwhile, the other director of John Wick, whose name I've completely forgotten, has made Lethal Blonde.
Oh,
no, Atomic Blonde, sorry.
I want to see that so bad.
Charlize Theron, which looks sick as
well. I
well.
love Charlize Theron. She is one of my, on top of there with oh my god, what's her name? She was in Doctor Strange.
Rachel McAdams?
No, the blonde lady. The bold lady.
Oh, yeah, Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton, one of my favourites.
She's good.
Oh, she's just so amazing. And then Charlize, they just play such versatile roles, and they're just so good at all of them.
She looks like she does a really good job in Atomic Blonde.
Yeah, but she also, she's played so many different. She's played I watched North Country, and she played she talks about women's rights, actual women's rights. It's a very, very scary story.
Have you seen Monster?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Monster. Yeah. She plays that killer / prostitute / psycho. Yeah, and then they're totally different because she goes from she's really pretty in one. And she's all and then the next one she's a terrifying psycho killer.
I find it funny. It's let's give her an Oscar because she made herself ugly.
No, but she was.
She was good. She was very good.
Yeah, it's not just the makeup. It's the whole. She changes. It feels like she changes.
But yeah. And there's the other film. What do you call it? Is it Hitman's Bodyguard?
Oh yeah.
Which looks alright. It looks fun with Samuel L. Jackson and.
I don't want to watch any more Samuel L. Jackson films.
Why though? He's so awesome.
I know, but I just seen him in so many films, and I feel like every time I see him in a film,
he always plays the same role.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's very good at it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I do like how they kind of play off it. Ryan Reynolds says in the trailer, he's a man who single-handedly ruined the phrase "motherfucker" for everybody.
Motherfucker! I can't even do it. Okay, I think we should wrap up.
We should wrap up.
Yeah.
We've talked quite enough.
Yeah. And probably sick and tired of hearing our voices.
Yes, I am. I know I am.
Thanks, friend.
I said ours.
Okay.
But I meant yours. Anyway.
Thank you. You're so rude.
I am.
Okay, we'll just see you guys in the next 2 weeks.
Yep. Feel free to check us out again on iTunes now. It's pretty official now. It's there.
It's on iTunes, or we're still on Spreaker.
Spreaker is iTunes, the same thing.
Okay, well, also on www.suicidalcinephiles.com. We don't have a .au, do we?
No,
just .com. Okay.
Yep, you can find us on Minds and various other stuff, YouTube. It's all there.
Yeah, it's all there. Whatever forum.
We'll keep putting it out all the time.
Yep.
By that, we mean every 2 weeks. Okay.
Okay, take care.
Take care. Goodbye.
Bye.